And this is the bit that we're all waiting for. So tell us what you're doing now. So because I'm loving what I'm following so far, mate.
The wife and I had spoken about a concept, but it was how do you launch something from nothing, right? As you guys are aware, the military is so big on mateship and camaraderie and all that. When you leave, it disappears. It's just not the same. So for me, I'd always been chasing that again, like the mateship you had or the sense of belonging to something. And a part of what I did was I brought that into my workplace. So I established a business called Off-Road Expedition. It's a community-based workshop where people can come and learn and grow and feel that it's a safe spot for them to come and work on their vehicle, regardless of what it is. And be guided through different things and learn new things as they go. So we had a concept to do it and didn't know how it was going to work and did all this other research and no one's really doing this. And it was hard. Like you couldn't really compare it. So I did what every soldier does, right? You start at one task and you get it done and you tick it off and do another one and tick that off. And then, you keep ticking these things off and eventually you've got a list of stuff done and things start happening in front of you because you've done all this work. And I used some contacts that I'd known when I was in the West to start reaching out and getting bits and pieces and stock and suppliers and all this stuff. And, being 5 weeks in today and I've got a showroom full of products that I can sell and fit and install. And I've got a workshop downstairs with a, full mechanics toolbox, all cordless Milwaukee gear, a hoist, oil drain, like everything you need to sort of come in and do it, which is great. But the biggest thing and the big kicker here is there's so much interest and I'm getting so many people of different walks of life come through the door and ask random questions like, can I do this and can I do that and how do I do it and all this kind of stuff. And to be able to sit there and say, yeah, come on in, we'll have a crack together. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm sure we can learn.
So Off-Road Expedition, where are you based?
So we're based in North Lakes, Queensland. So we're sort of at the heart of the four-wheel drive community. We've got Glasshouse Mountains half an hour away, Moreton Island, Stradbroke Island, Fraser a few hours north and everything like that. So really good location, close to everything.
Chris, in terms of your concept, how does it actually work? Does a person rent the space for an hour at a time and then he has to use your oils and your accessories or whatever?
So how it works is people can they can come in and they can either book out an hour, half a day, a full day. They'll come in, they'll book it out, they'll use it. I'll show them everything they need to know if they're using the hoist or machinery, and I'll also put the vehicle on the hoist for them so I know it's safe. In terms of parts, oils and consumables, I have most consumables, they're free to use. I can get parts. I've got a lot of good trade accounts. So if people are doing a service on a particular car, I can also quote all their oil and parts to get it done. And because I can do it, it's quite competitive. Because the other part of this is I hear a lot of stories out there of, I went to a mechanic and I'm getting an oil change and it's costing me $600. And it's like, come on, it's not, it's not that. All the people out there are putting all this extra expenses on top of things. It's just, I wanted to sort of make that community thing and try and give back a little bit. For instance, I had a young lady in today. She's doing up a camper van. She was in remote New South Wales, and to get 2 battery terminals changed, which probably cost about $30, she was charged $300. And it's like, it's just, it's so wrong, but, she just didn't know. So a part of what I'm trying to do is, help people out and help people navigate these situations where, they're just not sure and they just want some sound advice. That's what I'm here for. As we know, Australia is such a big, beautiful country, and people right now just the in thing to do is travel it, And if I can help by giving advice to people as they go or before they go, that's good for me. I enjoy that stuff. So.
And do you do some of the work yourself, or does a person do all the work themselves and you just give advice, or how do you work it?
So yeah, you can either book the workshop out and do it all yourself, or I can do all the accessory fitting as well. So I'm getting a lot of interest. So I've got a lot of supplier accounts, bull bars, suspension, recovery gear, winches, all that kind of stuff. I'll generally
hopefully camping bags and beanies and socks sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll fit all that stuff if they want me to. Yeah. So no issues there at all.
I think it's such a unique thing. When I saw this initiative, John, on socials, it was actually an influencer that Chris had employed or was working with in whatever way. I didn't realize who it was, and I just saw the concept, and I thought, gee, that's such a great idea. Like, I'm getting to that age now where crawling under the bottom of my car when it's on just, trolley jacks and little stands and stuff like that, it just kills you. And I thought, gee, I'd love to install a hoist, but how good would it be to have a community hoist? And this concept really resonated with me before I knew it was Chris running it. And I reached out purely because I said, can you franchise and bring it to where I live in Merimbula? So I think it's such a great thing that you're doing. But I think it also resonates well with people because not everyone, you spoke about, or you touched on the fact that people maybe are getting a bit taken advantage of. Cost of living, cost of maintenance is hard. But there's the other side to it, which I feel that a lot of people take pride in maybe doing it themselves or learning about their car a little bit more. And that's something that you're obviously providing, aren't you? By letting them come to your workshop, having that expertise there, that if they say, for example, I've installed clutches and things like that before. Sometimes you just can't line something up. Having an extra set of hands, having someone that maybe knows the little, technique that you need, that goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, definitely. And you're right. Sometimes all it takes is somebody at a different angle just to see something that's not going together properly, and you move it a mil one way and it all lines up. And 100%, I've seen it a couple of times in the short time of being open that, people are just having a hard day. They can't get it working on their driveway, and they're struggling. They ring up, they get it trucked here on the back of a tow truck. We push it into the bay, we get it up on the hoist, the transmission's out, oil's everywhere, and then a few hours later, it's all fixed up, cleaned up, and back together. So definitely.
But there's a lot of young fellas that will just love the fact that they could just learn that little bit more about, because when they do go a bit more remote, they've got a bit more of an idea about their vehicle and that as well. And young ladies, I'm not just saying men, but the people that are actually learning from this experience, that will just be such a game changer for them.
Yeah, and the community of four-wheel driving in Australia is starting to really get a cult following.
Yeah.
And you're right, like more and more people, which if I wasn't in the military 20 years ago, I'd be doing it as well, traveling around Australia in a car or a rooftop tent or a caravan, doing that thing when you're young and youthful so you can get out and enjoy a lot of the places where you don't have a family yet, so you're not worried about kids' school or daycare or having a stable job for being an adult and that. You can get out and have some fun, and to teach people or to give people a little bit more confidence in their vehicle and what they're doing and how they're doing it, so they can go out and do those things is the other kicker. Even if it's just half an hour in here or an hour in here and they just want to do a pre-trip look over their vehicle, that's what it's all about. Get it in, get it up on the hoist, make sure all the wheel bearings are tight and, there's no massive oil leaks or no oil leaks or, quick grease of all the uni joints and suspension and components and that. And then they're ready to tackle what they're doing. So absolutely.
Now, I was going back to Steve's question. If people were interested in franchising, Are
Yeah,
you ready for that yet, or is it still too new?
5
yeah.
weeks.
It's definitely a question. I think I've been asked probably 15 times now, I think. We're probably a bit new at the moment. We need to get this one up and running, and and definitely if there's a market for it, it's something we'd look at in the future. But for now, and like for today and right now, we're just trying to sort of focus on this one site and get it like running smooth from an operational perspective before we look further.
Do you even have to like establish, some SOPs and, protocols and, test the insurances and things like that? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that was a big hurdle, was insurance. It's so hard to navigate and figure out how you're going to do it and who's going to cover you for this and that. And right now, I think we've got like 4 or 5 different insurance policies for different things. So, but in terms of that as well, we still get people to sign a waiver when they come on site. That's more of a legal thing just for us. But yeah, 10 times out of 10, I'm downstairs with them, helping them, working through it, pointing things out. Because a lot of, like I've said before, a lot of the people that are coming through are young lads and ladies, and they're like, I've just bought this car and I want to do this, but I just don't know. I want to do it myself, but I just don't know. It's like, yeah, no worries. Like, that's what we're here for. Bring it in. We'll get it up on the hoist. I can point out how to do your suspension kit for you, and then you can just go do it. If you get stuck, yell out and I'll come down and help. Like, that's the way it works. So,
Because what's quite interesting in some of the outlying suburbs of Melbourne, the councils have been trying to put legislation in place where people aren't allowed to repair vehicles in their yard, and actually going around checking and finding people. So your concept would be great in those sort of suburbs.
yeah, definitely.
Because that would just solve that whole issue.
Yeah,
That's fascinating. It's really good.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
And what are your thoughts about, like you were saying before, I think before we started the recording, you're saying that you're actually pretty booked out now. Like,
Yeah, we are. So, it's good. This month has been pretty crazy considering we're 5 weeks, 6 weeks in. We've only got really one day left for the rest of this month with nothing going on. And even next month is starting to get bookings and get people through the door already. So pretty soon it'll be you need to book well in advance, which is great.
how are you handling that? I mean, you're pretty much a bit of a one-man show. Obviously your family's helping you out. Your wife, your kids. But do you think that you'll have to expand a little bit? With that support.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely on the cards down the track to expand. It's just we just don't know which way we're going to go, because there's a couple of things we could do. We could move more into sort of a fitting aspect and employing someone full time to do fitting, but then also have somebody run the workshop as well. Or it all depends on where the main work's going to come from. And to be honest, it's already surprised us, because when we were planning this and doing our forecast for the accountant, we thought the retail stuff we have here on site would be the big the big commercial benefit for the business, but it's actually not. It's flipped 180 in what we thought, and a lot of people are just so keen to get in and use the workshop and do those tricky jobs they can't do on the driveway. So, we're already talking about how we can expand downstairs and give more things for the community to come and use. I'm not sure if you've seen, but one thing the kids did, is we built a RC crawler track. So we went and got a couple of
little remote control cars that you play with.
Yeah. So we went and got a couple of those, and they've built a couple of obstacles out of cardboard and plaster and clay and whatnot, and people can come and have a bit of a play with that as well. So, if you get stuck and frustrated and you just need a 5-minute break while you're working, you can just shoot over and have a bit of fun on an RC four-wheel drive, and then head back and get the job done. So.
And Chris, evenings and weekends, do you operate? Because that would be your concept too. People go to work and then they want to do something on their car in the evenings or on Saturday. Are you open on those days?
Yeah, so weekends are all by appointment only. And the beauty of it is I can stay back late if I need to sort of get those tricky jobs finished. You know, we try not to let people run overnight. I'd rather stay back and get the job done that evening and help out rather than letting them have to come back the next day and it blows into another day and everything else. So they've got commitments as well. So, yeah.
No, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we love what you're doing. We really do. And, I guess, the purpose of, well, we thank you for your time, but, you're coming on to this show. Again, what we're trying to do is promote small business, obviously a veteran-owned business as well, connecting with veterans, using, potentially our network just to promote what you're doing. I think Off-Road Expedition, is such a unique concept, and it's something that's so well needed across, all of Australia. So, we wish you the best of luck, mate. We hope that it's franchised everywhere, and I'm pretty sure John and I, we'll probably buy into it, won't we? It's
definitely.
Great concept.
Thanks.
But mate, congratulations on everything you're doing for you and your family. We think it is such a cool concept, and hopefully everyone just keeps getting around you and you're just flat out and you got to employ more people because, you also need a break as well.
Yeah, I know, right? And being here all the time, I don't get to go away and have a bit of fun that I like to do. So definitely it would be nice, but this is definitely more rewarding because I get to give back to the community.
No, so any listeners and viewers, get around Chris Brown, Off-Road Expedition, up in Queensland. So if you need anything, he's there for you.
Chris, thanks very much. It's great to have a chat to you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to jump on here and have a chat. I appreciate it.